Today's story starts with Jesus and the disciples randomly walking around. And then Jesus stops and he asks, "Who do people say I am?" So the disciples speak of all the rumors that are circulating. Some say John the Baptist. Others say you are Elijah. I have heard some say that you are one of the prophets. But who do you say I am? Peter answers, "You are the Messiah," which means you are the Christ, which means you are the King, which means you are God's chosen ruler who deserves this whole world. However, the way that Peter and the disciples pictured the Messiah was very different from how Jesus pictured the Messiah. And so Jesus began to teach the disciples, the Son of Man must suffer, and he must die, and rise again after 3 days. The disciples were shocked. And then Peter got mad. Peter rebuked Jesus. Suffering and death is not something Peter can understand for Jesus. And Jesus doesn't respond by saying, "Well, thank you for caring," or "You'll understand someday, Peter." But Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan." Peter may have been right about Jesus being the Messiah, but his interpretation about the role of the Messiah came from the devil. God's way is not to come with power and destroy evil, but evil will be destroyed through sacrifice. And then Jesus calls a larger crowd to him so that he could teach them. He said, "If you accept me as king, then you need to come to the cross as well. No, not my cross, but your own." This means that we need to give up our identity by nailing it to the cross. We need to give up all the things that we think will make us who we are. We need to nail our souls to the cross and find our fullness in the Messiah. If we base our identity upon anything else, we can actually lose our souls. When we base our identity on careers, we need to understand that our careers can actually be lost. If we base our identity on education, we need to understand that our education can actually be forgotten and sometimes unused. Our loved ones, they'll die someday. So all of these things we nail to our cross, and we turn to Jesus the Christ, who is eternal. Come to Jesus. Bow before him, and you will find the identity that God desires for you. So let us be the people who turn away from the life the world expects us to live, and let us nail that life to the cross. And then let us turn to the life that God desires for us to have. Just like Jesus demonstrated when he turned towards the cross rather than turning towards a crown.